Okay, guys, so this week's lesson is all about statistics and measures of center, and those things are called mean, median, mode, and we also use range to calculate and interpret data. So before we get into those mean, median, mode, range, I want to kind of talk about statistical questions and what is a statistical question and what isn't, okay? So this is a little anchor chart that kind of explains it. So statistical question is a question you receive data on and has more than one answer. Okay, so if we were in class and I went around and I asked everybody, what is your favorite color? We would get multiple different answers, right? Like my favorite color is blue, where someone else's favorite color might be red or purple or green, so there are many different possible answers to that question. A non-statistical question would be, who is a president of the United States? There's only one answer to that. So we can't have multiple answers to that question. Therefore, it is non-statistical. Another example of a statistical question would be, what is the best book you read this summer? So if we asked that question, some might say Wonder, and some could say Restart, and we might say Number of the Stars, or Boy in the Wooden Box, or, there are many different possibilities there. If you ask someone how many oceans are there in the world, that's not statistical, because that has an answer. That's not going to change. Okay, so we're not going to get multiple different answers to that question, unless you're wrong, of course. But the amount of oceans in the world does not change, so that's not something that we're going to measure statistically, of course. How old were you when you lost your first tooth? Well, some people might be 4, some could be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. Okay, those are questions that are asked that the answers vary. What time does your grade go to lunch? There's only one answer to that. It used to be 10:52 for 6th grade. So that is the difference between statistical and non-statistical questions. Statistical questions are questions that you receive data on, you're collecting the data, and you're going to get more than one answer. Okay, kind of like Family Feud. If you've ever seen Family Feud, they say, and the number one answer was, and they give you an answer. Okay, they are measuring the outcome there. Okay, next. So these are some of those terms you heard me talk about a minute ago. So this week we're going to talk about mean, median, mode, range, frequency, and outlier. So this all has to do with collecting data, interpreting it, analyzing it, and making conclusions from it. Okay? So our first term that we're going to talk about today is called mean. Okay? So your mean, that is when you look at a list of data, you add it all up. So it says definition here, the sum of the numbers in the set of data divided by the number of pieces of data. So another name for mean is average. Okay? So you might hear us from time to time say find the average, and that's also called mean. So you're going to add up all the numbers in your data set, then divide by the amount of terms you have there. And that is how you find the mean. And then we have median. When you have median, what you're going to do is take your list of numbers, and you're going to rewrite them in order from least to greatest, and then you're going to knock them off from like the highest value, lowest value, next highest, next lowest, next highest, and next lowest, until you get down to one number in the middle. The middle number, that is your median. And I always kind of think about it like when you're driving down the highway, that strip in the middle is called the median. The median means middle. If you come down to 2 numbers in the middle, you have to add those together and divide by 2. You find the average of those 2, and that's your median. And then mode. When we think of mode, an easy way to remember mode, mo, means most. The number that occurs most often in the data set. Okay, so it's the one that pops most often in the data set. Range is when you look at your highest value in your data set and your lowest value and you subtract them. That is the range of your data. Okay, frequency is the amount of time something appears in a set of data. Okay, so how often something happens or is chosen. And then the outlier, that's the one that doesn't make sense. So sometimes when I show you your STAR reports, I might say, like, say you had a bad test, you dropped really low that time. I might say, we're not even going to worry about this. It's an outlier. It's it's a drop. You must have had a bad day. Maybe you weren't feeling well. Maybe the test just started you at a crazy hard point. Sometimes I tell you it's an outlier. We're not going to worry about it. Sometimes you might have a really high point. That is also an outlier. So when we include those outliers in our data set, it skews the meaning of our data. It can skew it right or skew it left. It can make our data look like it's higher than what it should be or lower than what it should be. Those are what we call outliers. Okay, let's talk about mean here for a minute. So mean, another word for mean is average. Okay, and the easiest way I can kind of explain this to you is your grades. So normally your grades, like for the quarter, is an average of how you did all quarter long. So like all the points added together that you received divided by the points that were available, that is your average grade. Here's how we figure out the mean. We add all the values in your data set, then we divide by the number of values, okay? So for example, if I have 10, 12, 15, 13 in a set of data, and I want to know the mean of this data set, so I'm going to take 10 plus 12 plus 15 plus 13, and I'm going to get 50, okay? Then I need to take my 50, and I need to divide that by 4, because I have 4 terms, okay? And 50 divided by 4 is 12.5. So my mean here is 12 and a half, okay? I hope that makes sense. Okay, the next measure of center I want to talk about is called median. In order to find the median of a data set, we want to put the numbers in order, right, from least to greatest. We want to mark off the high and low values until we reach the middle value. And if there are 2 numbers, we're going to add those together and divide by 2, okay? So for example, if I have 7, 19, 8, 13, 17, 21. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these values and I'm first going to list them in order from least to greatest, okay? So here's how I kind of like to do it. So I'm going to start with, and I'm going to look, what is my smallest value? Oh, it's 7, okay. So I'm going to go 7, and then I cross it out. Okay, what's my next lowest value? 8, okay. And then I cross it out. What's my next lowest value? 13. Okay, I'm going to cross that out. So I know I covered it. Okay, then 17. I cross that out. Then 19. Cross it out. 21. Okay, now I have all of my data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I counted them all. Made sure I was good. In order from least to greatest. Now to find the median, I need to cross these off, smallest and largest. Smallest value, largest value. Smallest value, largest value. Ooh, I have 2 left in the middle. So I need to take 13 plus 17. So I'm going to put that in my calculator. 13 plus 17. I get 30. I divide that by 2 because I have 2 values. And then my mean is going to be, or my median is going to be 15 of this data set. Okay? So that's how we do that one. Okay, mode. Mode is easy to remember. Mode, M-O, mode, most. That's how you can remember that. Remember I told you median? You think about that strip down the middle of the highway. Middle, median, middle. Mode, most. Mode, most. Mode is the number that occurs the most in the set of data. Okay? There may be more than one mode. There also may be no mode, okay? So in this set of data, I'm gonna start with 96, 95, 87, 92, 95, 98, 95, 92. So if I look at this set of data, 95, 95, 95, I have 3 of those. That occurs the most. 95 is the mode of this set of data. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Okay, range. Range is kind of easy to find in a data set. All you're going to do is take your highest number in the data set and subtract the smallest number. Okay? So in your data set, if you have 101, 87, 92, 111, 98, 76, what you're going to do is look for the highest number. And this is really easy to find, especially in a lot of problems. They ask you to find all of these things. They ask you to find mean, median, mode, and range. So if you automatically list these data values in order from least to greatest, it's so much easier to find everything. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to say 76, I did it. 87, got it. 92, found that one. 98, got it. 101, yep. 111. Okay, so now my values are in order from least to greatest. I can clearly see that 76 is my smallest number. 111 is my largest, so I'm going to take 111, and I'm going to subtract 76 from it, and that will give me my range. And my range would be 35. Okay? Okay, this is an example we would be putting in your notebooks this week if we were at school. Okay, so what we're going to do is find the mean, and the median, and the mode here. Okay, so hits per game. So this is your data: 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. So it looks like they started their season slow, got a little better, and then started hitting pretty well. Okay, so the first thing I want to find is the mean. Okay, in order to find the mean, I need to add all these up. So I'm going to take 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3, right? And if I do that, I'm going to have 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6, plus 3 is 9. And that is going to be equal to 9. And then I need to take 9 and divide it by what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 games, 1 hit per game is what they average. So the mean here is going to be 1. Okay? So now I'm going to erase that. So the mean is 1. Now, let's go with median. Well, median's pretty easy because they already have the data in line here from least to greatest, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go smallest, largest, smallest, largest. Remember, median means middle. So I'm looking for the middle number here. Smallest, largest, smallest, largest, middle. So my median is also 1. Okay, so there we are. Mean of 1, median of 1. Again, mean is adding all the numbers up, then dividing by the number of data points you have. Median is you finding the middle number after listing them from least to greatest. Okay, now let's look at mode. Now remember, mode is most. What number occurs most often? Well, it's pretty clear to see that the mode here is going to be equal to 0. And then what would the range of this data be? Well, I want to take my highest number and subtract my lowest number. So my range is going to be 3 minus 0, which is 3. So there we go, hits per game. Hope that makes sense. All right, let's do test scores. So test scores, we have 70, 80, 84, 90, 92, 100. Okay? So, first thing I'm going to do for mean, what does mean mean again? Think about it. What does mean mean? Ah, that was funny. Mean means you're going to add all these up, divide by the number of values you have. 70 plus 80 plus 84 plus 90 plus 92 plus 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 516. I'm going to divide that by 6. So my mean test score, the average test score, is equal to 86. Okay? Then we need the median. Remember, median means middle. Think about driving down the highway. The middle lane there is the median. Median, middle. You're going to list your values from least to greatest. They are already there for you. And then you're going to find the middle value. Low, high, low, high, low, high. Uh-oh, we have 2 left in the middle. So I need to circle them. Then I'm going to add them together, 84 plus 90, and divide by 2. My median is equal to 87. Okay? And then we need to look for the mode. What value occurs the most? Well, I have 170, 180, 184, 190, 192. Oh, I have no mode. There is no mode here. There's no value that occurs more often than any other. And then what is my range? I need to take 100 minus 70, and I would get 30. Okay? I would like you to try hours of sleep and number of movies seen to see if you can find the mean, the median, the range, and the mode for those. Okay? You should be able to calculate those on your own. Those would be examples for you to try. Okay? Pause the video, see if you can find those out, and then hit play, and you